welcome back to the Phil Rosenberg Show. I have with me today Tali Roth, and she is an amazing musician, a classical guitarist. You'll notice that if you click down over there, there'll be a little button you can press. You can hear one of her songs she just played. What was the name of that song, Tali?
A Prayer for Hope.
A Prayer for Hope. Really lovely classical guitar piece. I don't want to say something too big, but it's reminiscent of one of my favorite musicians, Segovia, the very fast movements. It's a lovely piece. So check it out down there, click on it, and also there'll be a link to Tali's website. You can see much more of her. So thank you very much for joining me today, Tali. I really appreciate it. So nice.
Thank you for having me. Big pleasure and honor.
So let me tell everyone a little bit about you. So first of all, you were born in Israel, right? You graduated from Jerusalem Academy of Music and Dance. You came to the United States in 1991, which, by the way, is one of my favorite years in New York history. So you saw just the moment before gentrification happened, and then it happened. You were here for that event, right? It's really something that changed. So it's an interesting moment that you were here for. So you studied at Juilliard School of Music, and you have debuted at Carnegie Hall with the Juilliard Orchestra. You performed as a soloist throughout the United States, Canada, Europe, Latin America, Japan, and of course, your native Israel. You've headed up the Juilliard Pre College guitar program since 2005, which is where you are on faculty. Your repertoire ranges from Baroque composers such as J.S. Bach, one of my favorites, to contemporary ones such as Leo Brouwer. You also perform the music of Spanish romantics such as Granados and their Latin American counterparts such as Villa-Lobos. You perform solo as well as in collaboration with other artists and in chamber groups, and you also play with singers and dancers, including tango and this, my actual favorite musical form. Because it includes dance and guitar and everything flamenco. So beautiful. I'm so excited. So thank you again. Can I just start off with the most difficult possible question I can ask you?
Of course.
Yeah, let's get right to the difficult stuff. Who is your favorite musician alive today that you like to listen to?
Wow, that's a tough one. I have to do one.
One. You have to pick one only. That's right. If you're going to be on a desert island with only one piece of music, one album, let's say, one composer.
The problem is they all just passed away. Can I name someone that just passed away?
That's my next question. That'll be my next question, actually. So first, someone who's alive, and then we'll go to all the dead people.
Wow, that's a really hard question. I couldn't even think about one.
Okay, let's do it the other way.
Someone that I absolutely love.
Who would you, of all the people, including dead people, so let's say now, any musician, dead or alive, if you could...
Because what happens is it's a big mix for me, dead or alive, though. It's all the same because, you end up listening to what you absolutely love. So I have two. One is Maria Callas, which is the big opera soprano, the Greek opera singer. And the other one would be Mercedes Sosa, which is the Argentinian singer, which passed away not that far ago.
We should give, by the way, a shout out to Aaron Blake, who I'm going to interview very shortly, who is also a tenor, an opera singer.
Oh, fantastic.
In about an hour from now. So he's also wonderful. I always wish that I could have all the people I interview in a room together for like a great jam. Wouldn't that be wonderful?
Oh, I would love that.
Yeah, oh, maybe one day after the pandemic, right? So this leads me to, I want to get into a little bit. I just gave everyone a little bio. Now, just you tell me, like, the last few months up to the moment of the pandemic, what was your life like? And then we'll talk about
what happened.
Yeah.
Before and after. It's very interesting. So in terms of teaching, I would say I was always very inspired. I love my students at the Juilliard Pre College, but I equally love teaching anyone that's very, very eager and very motivated. So I have ones that I call good amateurs, that are the working professionals that are dedicating their life after work and fall asleep on the guitar trying to practice. And I love doing that as much as I love doing very advanced students or semi-professionals or even professionals that come to take lessons occasionally. So I've been doing all of that before, and I have continued that after. So in terms of teaching, it was not much different before and after, apart from I think doing everything online is actually harder work.
Oh, really?
You have to inspire the students more. You have to find ways to give them more because they're missing the personal contact. They can't play with each other. They would prepare their parts. I would coach them individually. They would put their parts together in a program that can do that and then create a chamber music together somehow. But then I would give them extra lectures, extra topics, extra inspiration, extra time, extra everything. So that would be after pandemic.
Were you able to ever do a jam? Were you able to?
You can't really do it properly online because it's one cancels the other, you know.
Oh, I see what you mean.
I don't think they do it. I mean, unless they can come up with a new program.
Not through Zoom. I don't think you can do it through Zoom. Because, when I talk, you're forced to be quiet and vice versa.
I don't know if there is a real program that people can actually play together online and be very happy with that. I think they can do. Do you know one?
I don't know what the name of the app would be, but I know there have been some professional concerts with people in different locations around the world.
That is different because they put it together and they managed to place together. That's a whole different thing. Yes.
They have a lot of high-end equipment to prevent the problem of latency.
But not live. Not live. They record it that way. They can do that.
Oh, really?
Yes, yes.
Oh, okay. I thought that was done so live. No.
Yeah, not that I know of. No, live would be really tricky. But there are a lot of amazing programs. They can do a lot of things. In terms of concerts, I've been doing quite a few concerts. One beautiful venue in the city that I love is St. John in the Village, which has the most heavenly acoustics, and I love doing concerts there for the Foundation for the
St. John? Sorry.
St. John and the Village, yeah. It's a beautiful church. And it has there's a concert series called
which one is that?
for the Foundation of the Revival of Classical Music. So there's always a lot of Bach and a lot of classical composers, which I did. Schubert and arranged Brahms, arranged Schubert and arranged Bach.
Where is that church? I'm just wondering.
In the Village, it's 11th Street.
11th Street.
Yeah.
And maybe like 3rd Avenue.
Yeah.
I think maybe I was at recently, or, well, pre-pandemic, I guess, fairly recently, a concert there, maybe Beethoven.
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken. But
yes.
Okay, yeah.
Yes, they're very big on Beethoven. Exactly, it's them. It's all them. Yeah. And I was doing a big festival in Italy, which is a wonderful festival in Sanremo, Italy. The Sanremo International Guitar Festival. I was doing concerts and judging the competition, head judge of the competition. Doing master classes, and that was a big highlight and beautiful everything. Beautiful Italy, beautiful.
So that's all before, the before time.
Way before.
So now the world gets shaken up. The pandemic happens.
Yes.
And we know that your classes remain roughly the same. So that's very fortunate because your classes are about your income, among other things. I mean, of course, you have the contact with people, that's important, but also the income. A lot of people were stuck, right? So that's really wonderful. What other ways did the pandemic shape your relationship to music besides just teaching online?
Of course. So, of course, as you know, there were a lot of recorded concerts, which people did. They recorded the concerts and then it was broadcasted. People did start, and I did the first of the launching of the series for the Classical Guitar Society in New York City. Online concert series live. So went actually really well through Zoom. I had a good mic. I'm testing different good mics now. So now we're using a different mic today. So we'll see how that goes. And that was another good mic. That was Friday. It was really great attendance. We had people that being able to join in from different continents, which was very exciting. From Colombia, my mother joined from Israel, which was amazing. Different time zone, of course. All over the US, they were able to join.
So that's the big advantage of Zoom, right? That's the big change. I don't know if that's going to stick around or not, but I mean, to be able to reach the entire world in one moment, right? I mean, that's kind of access. I don't know. It's a trade-off, right? You don't get the beautiful acoustic and like the grandiose experience of a huge hall, right. and you know, with the vaulted ceilings and the crowd of people feeling. How about that? What about the audience physically in front of you? There's some connection, isn't there, that you have as a musician? Is that the same through Zoom? Is it the same?
I have to say, I have to say, in terms of connection, I was very happy because everyone is at your face and you know them and you can scroll through the windows and most people are actually visual. And I actually felt so moved and touched and I'm very emotional of the whole experience.
Yeah.
I get very mixed reviews. Everyone seemed to really enjoy it, but some people said they even were more emotional. Some people said that they were able to stream it on their TVs or stereos and enjoy the sight of the of the ocean. Some people in Long Beach, some friends actually sent me a video of me streaming in the back and they're watching the ocean in my concert. You know, I always say, try and look at the bright side. What can we do? I mean, it's so hard.
So the bright side, that's a perfect moment, the bright side. So you basically have continued to expand. Let's talk about what are your hopes for post-pandemic music? What's the first thing? First of all, what is the first thing that you want to eat when all the restaurants are all open? Have you missed any particular food? I love asking this question.
Ossobuco.
Ossobuco. Okay, some Italian.
It's a very specific Italian dish.
And where do you like to have it? Where do you like to have it?
Right around the corner, but they're not really making it right now. They even having stuff for delivery, but you know, it's such a special dish that you have to have the restaurant full and they have to make like a one big quantity.
You have to wait. Where's the place? Where's the place? Let's give them a shout.
Arturo. It's very near me.
Arturo, that's in the village?
And now there's Arturo in the west, in the east side.
East side of the village? No, east side of west.
Not in the village, but I live on the east side, on the upper east.
Oh, upper east. I'm thinking of the piano bar.
Oh, that piano bar is not far from me, yeah.
Brick Oven. No, that's far from. Oh, is it all? Maybe they also have. So Arturo's in the village is on Houston Street, Brick Oven Pizza. I haven't been there in a while. I assume it's still open. I'm not quite positive about that.
Yes.
We'll have to consult Ellen on that.
I have to say, what I really want is to appreciate the little things because I think we all are right now.
Like what?
We are craving human contacts. We're craving hugs. Hugs! We're craving love that is like, you know, touchable, not virtual. I see my friends in the park. I wave from goodbye and I write texts to them and I say, I miss you even when I see you because I cannot hug them. I'm hoping people are going to be kinder to each other. I'm hoping people will appreciate each other more.
I think that might happen, at least for a little while.
Right? Right.
At least for a little while. So I was asking you before if you could have any, so you told me which two live musicians, I think, you would like to be able to jam with or hang out. What about one dead musician, your favorite dead musician?
Andres Segovia, of course. And the second one would be Astor Piazzolla, which I'm a very big fan of his music and play it all the time.
Okay, I had to know the answer to that.
And Pablo Casals, the cellist. There are many of them that I would like. Oh, Jascha Heifetz, the violinist.
Okay, one last question.
Oh, you can have many of them. Yes.
No, of dead people question.
Okay.
If you could create a quartet where you are one of the four, who would the other three people be?
Oh, that would be a crazy one. That would be Astor Piazzolla, Jascha Heifetz, Pablo Casals.
That's it. You only get three other people.
Me. Right.
Assuming you're going to play. Okay, if you want to observe and not play in the quartet, then you can name a fourth person, or you can switch off if you like with somebody, if you really feel like you want to name someone else. Another person, or keep it three and you'll play?
Mercedes Sosa.
Okay.
Because I like to mix the folk and the classical together, because that's what I try to do in my music all the time and in my programs.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about Tango Nuevo, which is new tango. It's not your mother's tango, as it were. I've seen it already because I've seen it online. I was able to track it down. But talk a little bit about it. What does that mean? How is it different from classical tango?
So it's a very beautiful form of music that Astor Piazzolla, the great Argentinian composer, founded. It's the new tango. Yeah. He actually had a nickname, Astor Piazzolla, the king of the tango nuevo, of the new tango. And it's basically combining his own style with classical music, jazz music, and traditional tango music, of course, because that's his heritage. So that's just in short. His own music is also combined with a lot of classical music training, because he went to study in France with Nader Boulanger, great composer, and she actually told him to go back to tango, because when he left Argentina, they didn't want to hear his tango. And after a while, she told him to go back and play his tango nuevo. And another big element in tango nuevo is where he grew up, which is the Bronx, New York City. So there is a lot of klezmer, Jewish klezmer music influence.
Oh, how interesting.
Yeah, which just explains why we all love Astor Piazzolla. There's a piece of us in him, in his music, for all of us.
I mean, it's always true, right? So we're in it. We're in this tough time. You seem to have this really great positive attitude. I fear there are some musicians that could, well, not fear, let me say, but I think there are some musicians that could use some advice about how to keep moving forward and continuing to be artistic in this time.
Yes, I think it's like everything else. We have to make the best with what we have. If we are thinking about what we don't have, that's only going to put us down. We have to think, what do we actually have right now that we can use? What are the tools? The tools are the new programs. The Zoom is a fantastic vehicle. The video, any communication with people through video would be fantastic. Slicing pieces and putting them together through different programs that we have available, so we can actually create chamber music or pieces. That would be fantastic. And positivity, really. I mean, what else can we do? Inspiring ourselves with creating new projects. Like I'm, for example, working on a fantastic piece right behind me of great English composer, Pete Wire. He's in England. And I'm hoping to premiere it in Czech Republic in Brno International Guitar Festival, that they're hoping to still
Be able to have it. Yeah.
And yeah, that stream may
When
happen. And
are they? Do they have an alternate date or no?
They have a date for now, August 1st till 7.
Oh, but they're okay. Well, good luck. Yeah.
And some festivals are actually happening in the south of Italy, some places near the islands. I bet we're gonna have to wear masks. So let's see how that goes.
So let me shift a little bit. I just want to give you. We're getting towards the end of the interview time, and I want to give you a chance to respond to what's happening around. We talked about the pandemic, and we didn't talk about. I don't even know how to describe it anymore. I think it was about George Floyd, and now I think it's about more than George Floyd, and I think maybe even it's about more than racism. I'm not sure, but as an artist, I think you must be connected to the environment you're in, right? That's always how artists operate. So how does that affect you? What are your thoughts? Would you like to share any thoughts about either George Floyd or the protests? Or
my general view of the situation is we have to fight for what is right, and everyone has his own way of fighting. So you either really are activists, you go and demonstrate, or you just express your opinion, or you send some letters, or you just support whatever you believe in. And very few people support racism, so obviously I don't support racism. Being Jewish, we also have suffered enough and still do. I lived in Europe many years, and I experienced first-hand anti-Semitism, so I think it's still there, and it's still here. There are some swastikas somewhere. There was there was an asphalt green like a year ago. There were swastikas on the wall. So
you can understand how
I completely identify with minorities and suffering, and so of course I support any protest against racism. Obviously, we want it to be handled well. We want to stop the violence, the looting. It's always this balance of how we're gonna find the balance to really fight and make a difference, but also do it in an appropriate way. I think everyone is still searching for that balance.
Appropriate.
To say it in a very gentle way, I think people are still searching for that balance of how to actually do it.
The key word there being appropriate. I think it can be hard.
Yes.
To know exactly what appropriate is, because there are so many people that are frustrated with having tried all the gentleman's channels, as it were, right, for change, and without seeing anything, and now they've just had it.
I'm hoping that whatever the message is, it's going to be conveyed in a way that's going to be constructive. That's the word I would use.
I shouldn't say, by the way, they've just had it, because that's put dramatically incorrectly. Here's why I say that. For two reasons. First of all, I hesitate to say we, because that includes I, and I almost, although I'm 100% supportive of the protesters, and of course I'm against racism, I am white, and so I feel like I don't want to take the stage away from anyone else. So I don't want to say me or I say they in that sense when I say the protesters, right? But one wonderful thing to notice is that we don't have to break it down necessarily along the lines of black and white, because in terms of the faces at the protests, as many white faces as black faces, and maybe more sometimes,
It's incredible.
maybe sometimes less.
Incredible.
But that means something different maybe in the culture, because I've seen a couple of different spats of riots as a result of police violence. And it's always been the faces of minorities. So something is different this time around, and it's also lasted longer. And we've also seen, hopefully, some change that is not merely cosmetic. So let's hope for that. Anyway, got off on a little bit of a tangent there, but that's okay. So Tali, I want to thank you so much for joining me today. It's been a real pleasure. You are a wonderful artist. What, if people want to get in touch with your music, again, give us,
just my website would be the easiest form, taliroth.com. They can contact me directly, and anything they want, I'm there for them. And please keep following me. And if you want to be put on my mailing list, just tell me on my website that you do. That way I'll tell you about my next concerts.
And what about just if there's Tali Roth, also if they want teaching, taliroth.com, if they want to
everything, yes, taliroth.com you could just send me a message for anything.
All the stuff. Got it.
Absolutely, and you can contact me, and I give you everything, everything you want. Okay. And I really hope, as I said, that this situation will just unify people even more. I think
Let's hope so.
We're seeing the beginning of it, and I'm hoping that it will continue. Well, music is a great way to heal and unify. We see that in and out constantly.
I think that's true. I agree with that. Yeah. Big time, in fact.
Big time.
All right.
Thank
Tali,
you so
let me
much.
thank you again. It's been a pleasure. Really, it's been a pleasure. And let's catch up after the pandemic. Let's see where you are, what you're doing, and talk some more. Will you come back?
Absolutely. I would love that.
All right.
And I want to thank you for the most beautiful interview.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful day.
You too. Take care.
Hi, this is Phil of the Phil Rosenberg Show, and I'm here to ask you to do me a small favor. Just take your finger, reach out, click the button that says subscribe. Just take your finger, reach out, and click the button that says subscribe. I need a bunch of subscribers. The more subscribers I have, something good happens. I don't even know what that is. They tell me I gotta have more subscribers. I believe them. So please do that for me. I'd appreciate it. Have a wonderful day. Enjoy the show.